few seconds ago, I posted this animation, this short video to YouTube, how I did a time lapse of this drawing and then this animation at the end. And I wanted to do a short video about how I created those trees in the foreground. So here I have a blank document. I'm going to shrink it a little bit so you can see the whole canvas. And first thing I did was I put in the dark areas of my trees. So I used a pretty big brush and just brushed in where I want the dark areas to be of the trunks. And I'm just drawing in the trunks, the branches. And I'm not going to do all of them that I might have in a picture. I'll just do these two so you can get an idea of how this works. Next, I took a lighter shade of the tree trunk, painted that in, and you can see it's not very neat. I'm just brushing in lights and darks, and depending on how you want the light to be will depend on how much of each color you have. Then I grabbed one more shade, just a very light shade, put that in there. So then let's just say that's it. So next I hit it with a Gaussian blur, but I didn't just do a Gaussian blur, because if I just do a Gaussian blur and blur it, not only does it blur the objects, it puts the blur all over the picture. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go to my layers, go to the thumbnail, and tap Alpha Lock. Now I recently did a video on Alpha Lock, and Alpha Lock will constrain the color or the paint to only where there's paint. So now when I do a Gaussian blur, it does not go all over the place. It keeps it inside of what I painted. And you can see the little spots that I didn't paint accidentally are not getting any of the blur because of that Alpha Lock. So I'm going to need to turn that Alpha Lock off, fill in those little tiny spots, turn the Alpha Lock back on, and blur it again. And no matter how much I blur, it still stays within that part that's painted. And then I can go back, turn the Alpha Lock off, and add any other details I want. Maybe there's a really defined line I want here, right on the edge there. And if I wanted to, I could hit this again with the Gaussian blur and Alpha Lock it. Gaussian blur, I'm going to leave it like that. And just in case you were wondering, the way I did the trees, the way I did the sky in the background, make a new layer. I'm going to drop a sky color in, grab some white, just scribble in some clouds where I want the clouds to be. I'm going to grab another blue, another shade of blue, just to give some variety, put that in there. And just like before, Gaussian blur, but no Alpha Lock this time. I'm just going to blur it till it blends it in. It looks like a nice sky back there. So that's how I made those trees in Procreate using Alpha Lock and Gaussian blur. Hope this video was helpful. If it is, please consider liking, subscribing, ringing that bell, and I'll see you next time.